Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Teacup Tarot. Now today's topic is slightly different from what we are used to on this channel. In fact, it was recommended by one of our subscribers, and essentially the topic is that if they went to a tarot reader, what would the tarot reader tell them about you? Now, I'm not really defining the them part here. Now, this could be your crush, this could be your lover, this could be a friend, or just somebody you've recently met, alright? Just about anybody could be them here. Now, as usual, you have 3 piles in front of you. Please make sure to pick one that really speaks to you, and then we'll start with pile 1. Hello, and if you have picked pile 1, this is what they'd be told by a tarot reader to describe you when it comes to your personality, your attributes, and so many more things. Alright, and of course I really want to say here that if you guys have any more topic ideas that I've not covered, or just something that interests you, please make sure to leave the same in the comment section down below. Now let's begin here. First of all, I feel like if they went to a tarot reader, they would be describing you as somebody who's very enthusiastic, okay? They describe you as somebody who's adventurous, somebody who likes travel, somebody who's exceptionally intelligent and wise, alright? You would be described as somebody who's very good with words, like you could probably sell ice to an Eskimo, that kind of a thing here. But at the same time, sometimes you like to indulge in a little bit of a gossip. But of course, you are somebody who's also very watchful. So maybe you are very, sharp when it comes to your observational skills. You're very analytical. You love to observe people, okay? But when it comes to acting towards somebody, or when it comes to involving other people in your life, you tend to be a little bit careful, okay? You're very specific about who you allow to enter in your internal sphere. Now, of course, you are somebody who probably has friends who are a lot of acquaintances, but people who are close to your heart can actually be very few. Of course, like I said, you're exceptionally sharp, you have a lot of ideas to yourself, and you like to work on those ideas just because you have a brilliant mind out here. You work fabulously well when it comes to teams. You are like the best friend a friend could have. But at the same time, there is a depth to your personality, alright? And in a way, you probably have a lot of interest in sciences or arts that probably a lot of other people have no interest in, okay? Now, of course, an interest in tarot, psychology, or analytical skills can be something that comes very naturally to you. But you're also somebody who believes that family is very important, and you're somebody who wants to have a beautiful family of your own. Now, this doesn't always have to be a family through like marriage, but this can just be family of people who you value coming together and forming a really cool unit. Now, of course, you are also an old soul. Like, the wisdom that you have, the knowledge you have is something that is sort of otherworldly, alright? And that is the way you're going to be described here. At the same time, you are also somebody who's a very powerful manifester. So if you want something, you are likely to put your heart and soul into getting it. But sometimes you could just place an intention and things can actually move for you. Somebody who's very open to other cultures, meeting people, exploring different dimensions of life is also something that you're likely to be described as. But at the same time, you're also somebody who's likely to be a workaholic if you get into work that you really enjoy, okay? So if you are into something that you really like, this could be a book, this could be actually your area of work. If you like it, you'll probably give your heart and soul into it. You can work from morning to midnight. But if you do not like something, then you're like, maybe I'm not interested. But you're also described as somebody who may probably be a workaholic, alright? Somebody who's very independent, somebody who's very strong-willed, and also likes to rely on themselves when it comes to their decision making. Of course, you're very quick, you're quick with words, you're quick with actions once you have made your mind when it comes to something specific. At the same time, you're somebody who's very generous, all right? So if a particular cause speaks to you, you're likely to give your time, you're likely to give your affection, you're likely to put your money behind it. At the same time, you are like a champion for people. Like if somebody is taken advantage of, you are likely to champion their cause, you are likely to fight for them, and you're somebody who will not stick to beliefs that are slightly outdated, okay? Now, you're also somebody who probably doesn't really work well with a boss, or probably somebody who would prefer working on your own because your ideas are so different, okay? Sometimes different than a lot of people in your family as well. So, you're likely to be somebody whose career is also something different, or would like to do something very different with your life. But once again, your enthusiasm is almost childlike, okay? And maybe that is the reason why children are so naturally attracted to you. You probably also enjoy animals, like, really working with animals, or maybe you're also very close to nature. Probably you like nature is also a way that you're likely to be described. At the same time, you are somebody, if you believe in something, you'll fight for it. You'll fight against injustice, against society, against popular beliefs is also one way that you're likely to be described. At the same time, you are somebody who will probably have a very close relation to your ancestors, okay? So maybe for a couple of you, you could be like a reincarnation of an ancestor, or just a specific ancestor connects with you very, very deeply, all right? But that ancestral power, that ancestral energy is very closely associated with you, is also something that is coming forth. Once again, you're likely to be described as somebody who has a lot of interests, okay? So you may not just have one hobby, you're likely to have multiple hobbies because you have an exceptionally sound brain, all right? And maybe because of your sound brain, you are attracted to multiple things because you're able to do each and everything so very well. At the same time, sometimes you have a tendency to say things and not act on it because you're just bored, or you just don't want to do it. But at the same time, you don't want to hurt the other person, okay? You're kind-hearted, you're a very generous soul, but sometimes going against your word is also a part of your personality. Now, once again, if a tarot reader describes you, they would be describing both your faults as well as your highlights here. But you're slow to act, but once you act, you are all there. You adore your family, you would do just about anything for them, and in love, you would give your heart and soul away. Yeah, just to the right person is what I'm getting here. But overall, that is the way that I sense you are going to be described: strong, independent, multi-talented. That is who you are as a person according to a tarot reader that they would visit. Alright, so overall that is the impression that I'm getting for you. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. And as I wrap up this video, I want to leave you with nothing but my best wishes for a beautiful, beautiful future of yours. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, and if you've picked pile 2, this is what a tarot reader would describe you as. Now, of course, if you have any more topic ideas or something that I've not done before, or something that you would have me do, please make sure to leave the same in the comment section down below, and I'll be really happy to do those videos. Alright, now of course I'm going to be arranging all of those cards and then giving you the overall impression. Okay. Now, first of all, for you, pile 2, you would be described as somebody who's very artistic, okay? Somebody who's sensitive, somebody who's kind, somebody who wears their heart on their sleeve, okay? So when it comes to making any kind of decisions, of course, your decisions are very balanced. You take into consideration just about everything. You want to make everybody happy, all right? Because of that sensitive soul of yours, you just are a person who cares about the world. That is the energy that you guys give out. But at the same time, you are also somebody who will speak their mind, but speak it in a way that is exceptionally kind. You probably have a good voice as well, and when you say things, people listen to you, okay? Maybe it's the way you say things or just your personality. People are drawn to you like a magnet is what you'd be described at. At the same time, you're also somebody who enjoys having family around, who enjoys having your loved ones around. Okay, so get togethers, meeting friends, meeting family, taking care of friends, taking care of family comes very, very naturally to you. You're probably that kind of person who may not do very well on your own, or if left on your own, you would be like, oh, I wish my family were here, or I wish my friends were here, because you just are this best person and people like being around you and you like being around people. Also, you're somebody who's open to a lot of things, you're open to ideas, you're open to other person's point of view, and you're just somebody who listens to what the other person has to say. So very empathetic, very kind is also the kind of person you are. You're very adaptable to circumstances, to people, but sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, if you get angry, you really get angry, and then you're like, okay, this is beyond me and I'm not going to be putting away with it. So you definitely know how to put your foot down. It's just that you try to avoid it and just maintain that balance and harmony when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your family life and everything. At the same time, you're likely to be somebody who will have a lot of goodness in their life. Goodness when it comes to your relationships, goodness when it comes to money as well. But maybe that is something you do not recognize, or maybe you take that slightly for granted, alright? But at the same time, you're going to be described as somebody who has a lot of resources, who has a lot of love in their life, and who will continue to have the same till, the end of time is what is coming through. Now, you're likely to be a dreamer, okay? So that is the way you're going to be describing. You have a lot of plans for yourself, you have a lot of plans for your family, for your loved ones, and in a way, you want to work at it because you want to make it a reality. Of course, you're also likely to be somebody who probably enjoys painting, who enjoys sketching, or just somebody who is very, very artistic, very, very creative. You are likely to be described as somebody who's a person who pays attention to the minutest details. So even if somebody feels like, okay, maybe this person did not, register this, or maybe they did ignore it, you are not likely to be people who ignore things. Even the finest details really, really catches your eye. So you are likely to be people who are perfectionist for your own sake and for the sake of others as well. So you are a person who probably, looks at the pros and cons of every decisions before you, settle for something once and for all. But what happens is, when it comes to taking major decisions in your life, you tend to procrastinate a little bit. You are likely, because you're a dreamer, you're like, okay, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. And in that mental zone, because you're thinking too much, sometimes the ship likely sails away from you, and then you're like, okay, maybe I should have done that time, or maybe I should have said it that time, or maybe when it comes to some kind of conflict, you're like, oh, I wish I said that. Now, you are likely to be people who maybe change your professions more than once, or maybe you will have multiple professions at the same time before settling on that one thing. You may probably be juggling too many things at the same time and overwhelm yourself in the process. So that is how you are likely to be described here. The only reason why this is because you are multi-talented. You can do multiple things. I am not really doubting your abilities, but your ability to stick to one thing is questionable. Now understand this, when a tarot reader describes you, they are going to be describing both your positive points as well as your negative as well. Now, you're also likely to be somebody who will probably have a very close bond with your siblings or your cousins. And in fact, you may actually be people who are very closely a part of the life of your nieces or nephews, and just kids in general, because that connection with kids is important to you, and you yourself are just somebody who just is empathetic and kind, that kids want to come to you and tell you their biggest secret, even if that is something very, very minuscule. like I said, artistic people. So sometimes this can actually translate as having your heads in the cloud, and then really coming down to the ground may be something that would be ideal for you. Okay, so overall that is the impression that I'm getting here. Once again, you guys are very adaptable, and managing yourself according to circumstance, according to people, is one of your biggest plus points here. So if you are with an extrovert, you are likely to be an extrovert. If you're with an introvert, you're likely to be an introvert, because sometimes you fall into both of these categories. Okay, with the best of friends, you're like the biggest extrovert ever, and when you're on your own, you're likely to be the biggest introvert ever. You likely have a very close connection with plants, so having a garden is very likely that you would do. You are likely to be people who have pets, okay, or who are exceptionally fond of animals, who would do anything for animals, who probably feed multiple animals to begin with, or people who will work with charity, work with animal shelters, work with children's sectors, just because you have a generous heart to give. All right, so overall that is the kind of energy that I'm picking up for you. Now when it comes to love, you probably have the possibility of falling in love much more frequently than you would like it. Okay, so you fall in love very easily because, as I said, you carry your heart on your sleeve, and you just have that magnetic quality about you that romantic partners, you tend to attract them very quickly. But when it comes to settling for that one partner, you are going to be people who take their own sweet time. Now you are also likely to be born healers, so probably you are people who are into healing professions like doctors, nurses, allied professions, or just who are natural healers. Like speaking to you make people feel so much better. So that is the quality that you guys have. The most is what is coming through. If somebody has to describe you, they'd probably describe you as an angel. Okay, now that's what I'm really going to leave you here with, and I think that's a beautiful quality and something that I deeply admire. People who give with their hearts is what you would be described as. Overall, that is what I'm picking out for you when it comes to how would a tarot reader describe you. So if that resonates, let me know in the comment section down below. And as I wrap this up, I want to leave you with nothing but my best wishes and prayers for a beautiful future ahead. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, and if you've selected pile 3, this is what you are likely to be described as by another tarot reader who is reading you. Now, let's take a look at all of your cards. Of course, I'm going to place all of them here so that we can just read them well. And I really want to tell this before I start this video, that if you have any more ideas regarding future videos, please make sure to leave the same in the comment section down below so that I could start taking your requests one after another. All right then. First of all, the tarot reader would describe you as somebody whose life experiences are very diverse. There are people who learn from university, people who learn from other people's experiences, but you are likely to be people who've learned a lot from your own life experiences, from the happy times, painful times, and grown tremendously as a human being. You're also likely to be described as people who are very spiritual, or who have a strong belief in spirit, who have a strong belief in God and all matters of faith. But the way you approach situations, or the way you look at situations, are entirely different. Like probably your point of view is dramatically different from people probably in your family, your friends, or relatives as well. But that is what really makes you really special. Now, although you are people who enjoy family, who enjoy time with friends, you also like to spend time all alone on your own, probably doing a lot of research, probably reading into things, because you have an exceptionally curious mind. Okay, now you are people who tend to carry the load of yourself on your own shoulders. You do not like to rely on other people so much. Of course, a little bit of help is fine, but otherwise you tend to carry your own loads. Of course, the personality that you have is sort of larger than life. Okay, very magnanimous and very brave is also what I'm telling here. You also have a personality If somebody is close to your heart, they are close to your heart, and you tend to forgive people beyond a point of forgiveness. But once they cross that one single mark, you are done with people. So mostly it is like you love people who are loyal to you because you yourself are extremely loyal as a person. You are very dedicated to whatever you believe is your craft. Okay, so if you have a specific career that you really love, you are likely to burn the midnight lamp, you're likely to go overboard with working. But work is something that you absolutely love doing, and when it comes to whatever you do, okay, you're likely to be the very best at it, or at least you attempt to be very good at it. You have the hard working part towards yourself, and I think that is exactly what people admire about you. But at the same time, you're also likely to be people who have a very generous heart. Okay, you give with a free heart, whether this is to family, friends, or sometimes even absolute strangers, but definitely somebody who loves to give. Now when it comes to looking at life, you have almost this vision of a hawk. Okay, now you tend to plan in way advance, like you want to plan about your future, you want to plan like 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But when it comes to looking at situations, looking at people's behavior, you tend to take the higher ground there as well. All right, very generous spirit is something that I absolutely see for you. But at the same time, you guys also have a Midas touch. Okay, so things that you touch, because of your hard work, because of your true nature, it turns to gold. So that Midas touch is absolutely something you have in your life. You're likely to be people who are successful. Maybe sometimes in some cases success comes late, but success absolutely as a result comes to you. You are people who are likely to come from families that are big, or maybe your friend circle, your family, the close ones combined together are a huge unit. You're also involved in community. You want to live in communities that are large, that are safe, and money is very important to you. Having a certain kind of a lifestyle is important to you. Maybe the lifestyle that you have is very unique to you, but that is the lifestyle that you want, and you're willing to sort of work hard towards making that happen. Money is absolutely important to you. You're not going to be compromising with it. Also, you are a provider. You want to provide for your family, you want to provide for your kids, your future kids, sometimes even extended families is what is coming forth for you. Now, as a person, you're also likely to be somebody who's very fair. Okay, somebody who's very just. Like, you believe every person deserves a particular amount of good to come into their life, and you are likely to be people who are not going to be unfair towards anybody else. You believe that power needs to be distributed in a very beautiful manner, and you are very compassionate, you are very kind. And if somebody is opposed to somebody else getting, like, the lesser part, you will probably step up on their own part and be the voice of the voiceless. Yeah, but when it comes to making decisions, you are very quick, you think on your feet, and your decision is in a way the last decision is what is coming through as a result of your personality type. Now, you also have the ability of an entrepreneur, you have the ability of a creative person. So probably you have beautiful hobbies, sometimes multiple hobbies at that, but you enjoy your hobbies and you really like doing what you like, whether this is your career or another part-time hobby. Taking care of people comes naturally to you, but once again, selective people is what is coming forth. But of course, if I have to highlight a negative tendency of yours, it is sort of an unhealthy connection with money. Okay, you enjoy money definitely, but there is a part of you who's worried about losing it. Okay, you're like, okay, what if this gets taken away at some point? All right, so you will sort of go above and beyond protecting your money, protecting your assets, and that may borderline a little bit of healthy. So certain unhealthy habits is something that you have. This could be associated with relationship patterns, this could be associated with food patterns, that is also coming forth for you. But you are likely to be people who enjoy travel and who will probably travel a great deal in the future to foreign countries, to cities, to places that attract you is also coming forward. So at the heart of the hearts, you guys are a free spirit because you just like to discover the world, all right? And you're probably likely to be people towards the later point of time in your life who will sort of learn to relax a little bit more is what is coming forth. But overall, very magnanimous is the kind of reading that I'm getting here. Very deep, probably have gone through a lot in life, and as a result emerged as a human being which is kinder, compassionate and caring when it comes to other people. So that is what I'm getting here when it comes to what would a tarot reader read you as. As usual, I want to leave you here with nothing but my best wishes for a beautiful, beautiful future. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.